Hello everyone and welcome back to Oxventure Presents Blades in the Dark. I'm Luke and I'm joined by, who's here? Introduce yourselves.
Hi, I am Zilla. I am your friendly local cutter.
It's best to cut local.
I am Lilith, and I am a whisper. I whisper to ghosts. Hello.
I'm Casimir Jones. I'm your friendly neighbourhood man who is also a spider.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Indeed. And I am Edvard Lumiere, the famous inventor. You've probably used one of my products, and if you haven't, well, I pity you.
Incredible, thank you everyone. Let's dive straight into it. This adventure is going to pick up directly after the events of the last one. Namely, we see Zilla arriving back at Eleanor's largely legal antiques, where Casimir, Edvard and Lilith, you have all been hanging out, and Zilla explains to you all that...
Zilla, 100% successful mission, I assume.
You should understand that I'm quite bloody and bruised, having taken quite a beating in the ring at
It was the Splintered Bone.
The Splintered Bone, yeah. I'm back from the Splintered Bone. It was the Festival of Fights. And, I've been fairly badly beaten. But I did win.
Yeah, you should see the other
Great.
woman.
Successful mission.
Because she can't see you.
Capital.
I'm going to wordlessly go fetch Zilla like an enormous steak to just help reduce the swelling.
Nice.
Zilla, I have this electric hat that can reduce swelling around the eyes and face, if you would just like to place this on your head. Haven't quite ironed out all the kinks, but I think it'll... No, it works.
With great ease, I physically hold
terribly dangerous if you
him. I
if
hold
you struggle.
Edward at arm's length.
It's a lot more dangerous if you...
All right.
I can't stress how still you should be right now.
Yeah, really, any kind of movement could be fatal.
I gently but with great ease hold Edvard at arm's length.
Okay.
In less good news, Barnaby has been kidnapped by Rosie and Josie, the Dimmer sisters.
I
the
repeat,
spooky
a
sisters.
successful mission. So, good news then. I mean, he was a bit of a liability, wasn't he? So,
I mean, it was only a matter of time.
He certainly was. As Zilla sits there with this steak kind of cooling her eye, and Edvard trying desperately to fit this contraption over her bruised head.
Edward, no.
Zilla, you explained that all the gang's money is gone. Only Barnaby knows where, and he has been taken, as you have explained, by the Dimmer sisters, which comes as quite a shock, but not as much of a shock as, what's that, a bang on the door? My goodness. Dum, dum, dum.
maybe it's Barnaby with our money, I say.
I'm
stride
going
over to the door and fling it open.
Cool.
I was going to say, can I be behind the door, cane raised, just in case anyone rushes?
I might have
Yes.
been followed.
Good idea. You open the door, Edvard, and there is no one there, but on the step you see a bundle. It is wrapped in an expensive bit of fabric that Zilla, you recognise immediately as being taken from the coat that Barnaby was wearing when you last saw him. The bundle is sticky and damp and fairly weighty as you pick it up.
Would you say the coat is ruined?
Edvard, I'm saying the coat is ruined.
The coat is
yeah.
absolutely ruined.
Coat
Okay.
is- yeah.
Oh my god, every time.
All right,
This
well,
was his
I'll carry
latest
this.
favoritist coat.
I'll carry this into the room and place it on a table or something.
Is
so that we
it
can
his
unveil it.
eyes and teeth and tongue?
Oh, I'm hoping it's not eyes and teeth and tongue.
I'm betting fingers.
Fingers.
Uh,
I mean, he
Okay,
had two ears, didn't he? Probably could be one of them in
Lilith,
there as well.
You want in on this action? You
It's
want to
probably
bet what's
one
in the
of
sticky
all
bundle?
of the spare bits that he's got. So an ear, one of the fingers, maybe a kidney.
No one's bet on organs yet, Lilith.
Yeah, could be a kidney in there.
Yeah, could be. Oh god.
All right.
I'll
let's
tell you
unwrap
what,
it.
everyone place a bet on what's in here, and we'll actually have we'll do a little actual whip round. There'll be a reward if you get it.
Testicle.
It's a bad outcome if any of us are right.
Testicle, says Edvard.
Casimir's saying fingers.
I'm all
Casimir
in.
saying fingers.
I'm
Eyes and tongue and teeth.
gonna go for
Indeed.
kidney. I'm gonna go for kidney. Why not?
Okay, well, as you tentatively unwrap this package, Edvard, you are dismayed for a number of reasons, partially by what you see and also partially because you've lost the bet. Casimir is actually closest. It's Barnaby's whole forearm. Severed and bleeding freely, identifiable by a family ring. As you all look at it horrified, however, it seems to dissolve away
How
in a
is
sort
his-
of blue light.
How is his ring on his forearm?
It's on his finger.
Oh, so it's his whole arm.
It's his whole forearm.
It's not just a section from here.
No. Oh
It's
no,
a
they let him
Viking
keep
claw.
the hand. It's just not attached. Maybe they can attach the hand to the elbow. Anyway, it dissolves away to leave a scrap of parchment there, which reads, Edvard, tricked you, you'll get the real thing and more besides unless you bring us our 10 coin.
Oh.
Right, pay up. Come on,
Pay up.
pay up. Move his fingers.
Oh, right, sure. I thought you meant pay them. All right, yeah, here you go.
Tidy.
Cool. All right.
Okay. What if I were to create some kind of wonderful mechanical man into which we could program the consciousness of Barnaby, and then he could tell us where all our money is, and then we wouldn't have to rescue Barnaby.
Well, the problem is that
I start building a wonderful mechanical
we
man.
we would be the ones programming it, so it would only know what we tell it.
Yes,
computers
but I
were
mean,
only
how
as smart as
complex
we allowed
really
them to
was?
be.
How complex was Barnaby's personality? I think we
You
could
could
probably.
Exactly.
You
Cobble
could
it
simply
together.
tell the mechanical man you
What?
know where the money is.
And then he would trot. I think it's a
just
flawless plan. I say,
I think
rooting
the
through a chest of pipes and socket wrenches and things of that nature.
I think the problem though is that Barnaby isn't that complicated, so he does things slightly at random, which are very it's quite difficult to
He operates
predict
on an
using
uncomputable
computational-
quantum level, you're
Yeah.
saying.
I really think you're overthinking this, I say to Lilith as I place a bucket on top of a broomstick and draw Barnaby's face on it.
While Edvard creates, what did you call it? A wonderful mechanical man?
man. Yeah.
While Edvard works on his wonderful mechanical man, the rest of you settle down around the table. Lilith, maybe you brew some coffee. It has become clear that if you want your money back, and I suppose if you want Barnaby back, you will need to come up with a plan, and fast.
Okay, so I'm guessing that Barnaby is being held by the sisters at their base. So, I'll have a little look-see round to see if there's any information in our space of where we would actually find them.
Yep, there's nothing on the walls of like previous plans from the old gang to do with the Dimmer sisters, but you have a little sort of shared knowledge about this mysterious and threatening gang. None of you have seen the Dimmer mansion, but you know that it is a large estate that when people go in, they don't often come out, and that is the Dimmer sisters' headquarters.
How big is the Dimmer gang? It's not just two little girls.
It is not just two little girls, no. Again, no one has a sort of exact figure, but we're talking dozens.
And they're not all little girls.
They're not all little girls, but it is a women-only gang.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you all using all of your hair?
You want...
Yes.
You won't want to use mine, trust me.
Okay, that's fine. I'll work something out. I start shredding some cardboard.
The hair is important for the simulation.
Yeah. The wonderful mechanical man. How wonderful would this mechanical man be
We didn't
Without-
have any hair.
without Barnaby's luscious
Can I
blondes?
reread the note from the Dimmer sisters?
Yes. It said, tricked you, you'll get the real thing and more besides, unless you bring us our 10 coin.
Oh, okay. Pretty straightforward.
We don't have
Right.
10 coin in. Barnaby hid it. Or
No, we
did something
literally
with it.
don't.
We have precisely 0 coin, so it seems like our options are either we try and scrounge up 10 again for his nibs,
Yeah.
or we go in and try and break him out.
Yeah, how did we get the 10 last time? We tricked a ghost gang. That might work again.
Maybe you could sell something to the Dimmer sisters.
Let's go get them another haunted spinning top.
He's got family, right? I mean, that's
Oh,
how
yeah.
he's come into his money. They presumably care about him more than we do.
Yeah, why are we getting the ransom note? Why not his wealthy family?
Yeah, that's a good point. Or we place my wonderful mechanical man in his family home and get it to go around picking up stuff and then walk out with it. Anyway, let me just screw these broomsticks on as arms.
You've invented a steampunk anthropomorphic Roomba.
I'll be done in a minute. There's some flippers for the feet.
Rumba and B. No, it's not there.
Like the wonderful mechanical man itself, it's not there.
I mean, personally, we've already pissed this lot off once, and the note seems to suggest that if we give them the 10 coin, we might be even. At least, anyways, we'd be closer to even than if we go in and break them out. We could end up at war with them over this. Frankly, I don't fancy our chances.
Well, not if we got in and out without them knowing that we were even there.
Very true.
I mean, we'd be the prime suspects.
Yeah, they definitely know Barnaby wasn't there.
They'd know that Barnaby had escaped.
Oh, I mean, look, we're all thinking it, I'm going to say it. What if he just tells us where the money is and we leave him? The note says we'll get him back.
Oh, so we go find out from him where the money is, go get it, and then go get
Just
the 10
wait for him to be posted.
Huh.
Oh, we'll get the 10 coin. That's what I meant.
That's not bad. I like that.
That is some galaxy brain stuff, Casimir.
Yeah, and it's not just the 10 gold, because we'll get the rest of the takings from the Festival of Fights, which
Yeah.
only Barnaby knows
Yeah.
the location of.
We wouldn't necessarily need to break him out or even get into the house. If we could find out where he's being held, we could talk to him through a window or a vent or something. We could just find a way of communicating with him.
Yeah.
We sneak in,
Yeah.
and then we do it legit-ish.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
let me just see if the mechanical man will tell us where the money is. I'm just doing the Sparkcraft features at the moment. Let me just,
Sure.
Just
Okay.
wiring that all up.
Cool. Yeah, well, I guess make me a Tinker roll.
Yep.
How many dots have you got in Tinker?
2 in Tinker, plus I have the Artificer special ability, which allows me to add 1d to my roll when I invent or craft a creation with Sparkcraft features.
Okay, I think this is probably one of those rolls, or I should set the condition and effect. You're in desperate position, Edvard, and the effect will be limited, but that does not mean that you should not go for it.
Okay, that's a 4, a 5, and a 6.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, the best result is a 6. Yeah, the wonderful mechanical man cannot... It has some sort of consciousness, incredibly. Maybe a ghost fell into it or something. But
Got
all
all
it...
caught up in the cogs.
Yeah, all it can do at the moment, all version 1 can do is scream and ask to die.
Oh.
But
Yes!
it's certainly more of a wonderful mechanical man than any of you were expecting to be constructed here.
Behold! I say.
Not sure how wonderful this is.
Yeah, you've made an abomination.
I mean, it could be a pretty good approximation of what Barney's saying right now.
It's very dark, but it's... Behold!
It's a sort of grating, rusty
Jesus. All right,
kind of noise that
I
it's
twist its head off.
No! That was a breakthrough in automaton science.
Yeah, and then it was a break off in
yeah.
automaton.
Beat me to it.
As
Beat
you
me
snap
to
the
it.
head off, Zilla, there's a sort of almost contented sigh
Ugh.
that escapes from your head.
All right, fine, we'll
I
do
give the head back to Edward.
Clearly,
your
the
robot
need
son.
for further research is indicated. All right, then, I guess we'll do your thing.
Okay, this is sounding like a plan is coming together. Without wishing to be presumptuous, like this is a stealth plan, in which case, as we move towards the engagement roll, I need to know a few things. I need to know everyone's load. I think it would be good to recap where everyone is at in terms of stress and wounds. Then we'll crack on with the engagement roll, I think. So one at a time. Oh yeah, and the third thing is the point of entry. Let's do current stress and harm first. Casimir, where are you at?
I am on 6 stress.
Tasty.
No harm though. And
Okay.
I would like to go in heavy.
Lovely, brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That gives you, is it 7 slots?
6.
6 slots. Okay. Edvard.
I am on no harm and 3 stress.
Okay.
I'll go in normal.
No harm, 3 stress. Cool. Lilith.
I am back down to no harm and also no stress. Just been chilling
Nice.
and getting some lovely, relaxation.
Lovely. Lilith is just straight down the line. And Zilla, you're in the worst shape because you haven't had a chance to do downtime.
Yeah, I'm fresh off the street, full stress,
If you
2
would just
harm.
put on the electric hat,
Someone
we
did
wouldn't
a
be having this
spectacular
conversation.
wrestling move on me, but half an hour ago.
So where are you at? You're at 4 stress.
I'm 4 stress and 2 harm. Yeah.
Level 2 harm. And remind me what that
2
level
harm.
2 harm is?
One was pile driver, and one was and one was just being hit really hard, I think.
Okay, so with that, I think that wouldn't be... So I think that's 1 level 2 harm and 1 level 1 harm, maybe?
That sounds right. I took note of the harm, but not the levels, which was irresponsible of me, and I apologise.
Let me set the hat to pile driver. I can.
Yeah. And the hat did indeed pile driver. Let's forget the level 1 harm and say you have the level 2 pile driven.
Yeah, the
spine,
stake.
I think
the stake's done for the level 1 harm, so I've just got 1 level 2. Is that right? 1 level 2 harm.
Yeah, let's say that because I
stress.
honestly
Okay.
can't remember exactly what it was last time, but that feels like a strong amount to be, going in.
Yeah.
With
And how do I
level 2
go
harm, full
about
stress.
recovering from that beating?
As you put this plan together, I think it would be fair, Zilla, to give you 1 downtime action if you want to use it. If you want to have a go at healing.
Okay. I've also got a special ability called Vigorous,
Oh, brilliant.
with
What's
which
that do?
you recover from harm faster, permanently fill in one of your healing clock segments.
That's
Take-
amazing.
That's
Right?
fantastic.
Take 1 + 1d to healing treatment rolls. So
Yeah,
that's not what we're doing, but we are doing the healing clock, so I can already fill in 1 segment, right, of the healing clock?
Yes, yeah. I
Cool.
guess you
That's
can just
great.
have that permanently filled in, which is fantastic. Zilla, in the sort of brief amount of time before you go on Operation Barnaby Rescue,
Yes.
how exactly are you recovering?
All right. Well, there's some sort of what passes as a first aid kit with bandages and unguents and ointments and stuff. So I'm but binding the grazes and just rubbing some unguents into the various muscles that are so sore.
Okay, so that sounds like maybe a tinker roll almost.
Yeah. I mean, it's a dexterity thing, isn't it? Bandages.
You're the one who's actually doing this. Let's say, give me 1d. Let me think about your level as a healer. Yeah, give me 1d6. Roll 1d6, and that's what
Okay.
we'll see. How we
What about my take plus 1d to healing treatment rolls? Were you just going to add that to the result?
Yeah. Oh, was it? I thought it was 1 piece of the clock is always filled.
And
Oh,
also.
and 1d6.
And
Okay.
it's a very good special
well,
ability.
Well, in that case, yeah. Roll me 2. Roll me 2 at once. With the best result.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, it's only 2 anyways. But
Ah,
the other
you
one
heal-
was a 1, so yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's just 1 segment.
Sure, you don't want to
Yeah.
try the hat?
Yep.
Luddites.
Point of entry. Point of entry.
Yes.
Well, we don't know the layout of the house at all, do we?
No, I'll let you discuss this a little bit and flashback and stuff and make some plans.
Okay. Well, does anyone know anything about this dimmer mansion? Has anyone ever been there or seen it or seen a drawing?
It's got
Okay.
windows.
Yeah,
It does have windows.
That's good intel.
Assume that you do know, and then explain how you know.
Casimir, would you like to have gone on a little trip with me in a flashback just to have a look round? Because
Absolutely.
I was intrigued by them and you seem to know most about the local crews, so I thought you would be a sensible person to bring with me to have a look around. And
Yeah, sure.
we go and have a look at the mansion?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
What did we spot?
So this is a sort of recce on the ground. The two of you both just basically went there and looked at it. Is that sort of fair to
Yeah.
say? Okay, so you weren't able to get super close to the actual house, but you could see it quite clearly because it stands alone in a large grounds. The house is a sort of sizable mansion, set in some gardens. Every other building around you almost seems as if it's kind of leaning to try and get away from Dimmer Mansion. So it's not adjacent to anything else. It kind of stands alone on its grounds. Is anyone else doing any investigation? And if so, how?
Have they lived there for ages, or is it feasible that I might have toured the house once when I was considering buying a property?
They have lived there for ages, yes.
Okay. I withdraw my flashback.
Okay, I go to a local food market and see if I can find out who delivers supplies to the Dimmer Mansion. Like who's their caterer? They eat. I mean, they're spooky, but they eat. There's got to be
Yes.
food going in. They've got to take regular deliveries.
Yeah, so you head to the food market. You do a little bit of asking around. Most people don't want, sort of, at the very mention of the Dimmer sisters, they kind of want to end the conversation quickly. But eventually you find a fruit seller who sort of points you to another fruit seller who points you to another, and eventually you get to an individual called Clave who has a very, very modest market stall. And upon chatting a little bit to Clave, quite suspicious looking fellow, you find out that twice a week he carts up a load of supplies to the Dimmer mansion. They're all vegetarians, but it's fruits, vegetables, cheeses, that sort of thing. He sort of brings it up twice a week in a large cart. He leaves the food just inside because he's not permitted on the grounds, and then they come and take the cart inside, and he picks up the cart from last time. So he's kind of on a
Interesting.
Kind of come in and out on a rota, if you like.
Okay, that's good. I share that information with the crew back at base.
I think I remember reading an article in an architectural digest because it's the Dimmer Mansion, I believe, is one of the signature pieces of a very famous architect of the Gothic school. I think I read an interesting. I don't know if this was after they'd moved in or before they'd moved in, but this was. It was an interesting article, sort of talking about the house and the sort of unique architectural features that this architect had worked into the design. Let me just see if I can recall that article, if there was anything that would be useful to us in that.
Yes, there are several very special, unique architectural features. One is that the building, when it was originally built a very long time ago, had an absolutely magnificent ballroom in the centre of the building. It was also built. It was not originally built for the Dimmer sisters. No one's quite sure how they kind of got hold of it, but it was actually built in a sort of eccentric, wealthy person's folly on the remains of an ancient temple, and because of that, it actually had, for its time, a fairly advanced sewage system, because it was there were kind of all these already there kind of like stone channels and kind of like aqueduct sort of structures there. So it's got a fairly advanced sewer system.
I share that with the group, and then I say that those tunnels might provide us a point of entry where we wouldn't have to go through the doors or the windows or anywhere more likely to be spotted.
I mean, I don't know, mate. After last time, I don't really want to get a reputation for this sort of thing,
But I mean, your coat's already ruined, old man.
Hey. I'll
Just
soaked it in vinegar. It's going to be fine.
fair.
Once it dries out.
Okay, these feel like two great points of ingress.
Well, I vote for the underground tunnels. I think I'll be less likely to be spotted.
I'm no great fan of sewers, but it does sound stealthier. If the food deliveries aren't taken into the mansion, but only to the gates, I don't think that's going to be as useful.
Begrudgingly, I agree.
Let's do some engagement roll then. Here's your dice for sheer luck. Look at it. Appreciate it.
Ooh.
I'm seeing it.
Is this operation particularly bold or daring? Yeah.
Yes.
You always get that one. Does this plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? You know what? I'm going to say, for the first time, yes. I think you've earned this one, because we are talking about going like right into the inside of it through the sewers. So that gets you up to 3. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
Well, my one's still missing with a banshee, so no. The one spirit guy that I have is slightly out of place.
Oh yeah, Lilith's contact is violently vanished.
What if it's not a contact though? Like that mansion has got to be full of ghosts. It's hella spooky.
What?
Can
Sorry,
Lilith tap into that?
Zillow, do you know what time those food deliveries occur?
Yeah, twice a week, and on a Monday and a Saturday.
Okay. Well, if we were
Wait,
to...
that doesn't make any sense.
No,
Monday and a Thursday.
Hungry Sundays is a thing in
Yeah. They eat a lot on a Sunday.
If we were to
It's
time
Monday and
our...
Saturday because nothing is as it seems in the Dimmer mansion.
If we were to time our subterranean ingress during a food delivery, that might divert eyes away from where we're going.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that could count
that's
as
sensible.
an ally.
I think that counts. That counts
Assisting.
using a friend or contact.
Okay.
Very good.
All right,
Yes.
that's
Good thinking.
4 dice, so I'm going to have to be working real hard to screw this one up. Here we go. Oh.
What'd you get?
You had to say it.
We've got right to left.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
2. 2. 1.
You had to say it.
Boo.
Unbelievable. Wow. Okay. Well, because there were 4 dice, the bit of my brain that was like thinking ahead hasn't. Okay, right. Okay. Here's what happens. Okay, you get into the sewers. You navigate your way. You have studied some architectural plans or something. You find your way under where you believe must be the Dimmer mansion. The sewers here are very wide. It's almost more like a sort of underground waterway. It's kind of waist deep, this filthy sewage. So make a note that you all are waist deep with stinky
I don't
filth.
want to be wasted.
Did you not all bring hip waders, like me? I say.
You can mark hip waders off your load if you want to not
Twanging
be covered in stinky filth. Yeah, you get to a grate which should be underneath, and as you you find that actually it opens easily up into the middle of the floor. You all sort of creep out. Doesn't appear that there's anyone here, and you look around the room. The room is made of stone. There's blood everywhere, and apparatus for kind of holding people down. It looks like a kind of sacrificial area. Lilith, you can see there are a lot of bottles on shelves, and it's clear to you that this is a place for extracting spirits from their mortal bodies.
And blood.
They're making ghosts, guys!
And blood. There is actually a man tied to one of these benches. And
Holy.
he looked dead, but as you come up, he looks at you and shouts very loudly, "Help me! Help me! Get me out of here!"
I run and I put my hand over his mouth and be like...
Cool. I'm starting a clock for discovery. I'm going to make it 6 segments. Discovery. Cool. All right, so we're covering the mouth, right?
Oh, I'm so glad the sewer entry is in the torture chamber. That's...
Yeah. It's so that blood and fluid sluice down.
Yeah, it just sluice.
Yeah. The like a sort of.
Oh, it's a grill. The floor is like a grill
it's like,
as well. Yeah.
Imagine like a wet room, but like a
very
bad
wet room.
Yeah, the floor kind of slopes
Slopes
down
material
everywhere.
to sluice through for processing.
Processing in clay. Yeah. Okay, so Lilith, what are you doing to this man?
I'm just putting my hand out over his mouth, and like, don't worry. We can get you out. You mustn't shout, because otherwise they'll come, and that'll be it. We won't be able to help you out, but we'll try our best to release you from your bonds, and then if you go down that tunnel, just get out as fast as you can. Okay,
so roll me for the bit where you're trying to just stop him screaming, I suppose. Calm him down.
Okay, so I suppose this is a finesse, so 1 dice. A 4.
4. Okay, finesse makes me think that you're putting most of your effort into like the actual hand blocking part of this. And you do a very good job. You do silence him, so that's good. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't seem to really understand what you were saying. You get the impression he's very, very thin. You can see his ribs. His eyes are very bloodshot. You think he's been here for a very long time. Possibly he was brought in with a larger group, and they have all been processed. So he doesn't really... He's not really on your level in terms of the escape, at least not at the moment, but he's quiet.
Okay. It's okay. Just don't...
How is he secured?
He is tied down with manacles. So like there's iron kind of things strapped in at the sort of top and bottom of this long wooden bench.
I don't want to be cruel, but if we let him out, they'll know we were here, and this is meant to be a stealth run, everybody.
We can let him out if we go out the same way we came in. We could let him out as we leave.
Let's get him on the way back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need him to not scream, because otherwise.
Honestly, this I say as I pour some ether into a rag. Just.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you're just ethering him, Edvard. No need to roll for that. He's tied down. He can't possibly resist.
What? Don't we want to ask him where they keep the others?
Do you think he's... I mean, he doesn't seem all that with it. You can try if you like.
No, all right, him. No, rag him.
Rag.
Cool. The ether is administered, and he goes briefly cross-eyed and is sort of, he's unconscious now.
You won't take 2 stress.
This seems to be the sort of dungeon area. You think this would be around here where they're keeping Barnaby.
Yeah.
So let's...
Up until now, I thought they might be, spooky fun, haunted house styles, not torture chamber full of
You may
blood
have come in
styles.
you may have come in the most horrifying angle. This is the stuff that they don't want. I mean, they don't want you to see any of it, but this is the real.
I was like, spooky ballroom,
Yeah.
bloody torture chamber.
Yeah, this is the R&D bit that they don't ever show the press.
This is the person mincer. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find something more whimsical elsewhere.
Yeah. You got to get your ghosts from somewhere.
What are the exits from this room?
The exits from this room, Edvard, are a wooden staircase that leads up to a door. It has locks on it, but not from this side.
But what if there are secret doors? I start pushing bricks.
Aha. Okay. Yeah. Make me a roll, I suppose, for the checking of this.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
all
I
you-
guess this would be study.
Makes sense to me.
I have 1 dot in study, so let me just roll this dice. It's a 5.
A 5. Yeah. Okay. As you are sort of pouring around on the wall, you're looking first at the kind of stonework. You don't see it, but you don't see anything there. But then you come to a sort of bookcase covered with bottles and stuff, and you notice behind 2 bottles there's a candlestick that looks weirdly undusty. It looks like actually it gets grabbed a lot. So you
like to
grab
grab
it.
And pull
You
it.
grab it, and the bookcase and slides out to reveal a hidden passageway. It's a little noisy though, so I'm going to tick a clock.
Oops. Sorry.
Keep it down.
Sorry.
I came here to study ghosts, not become one.
Think how much study you could do if you did become one.
Let's just
can't
get
hold
the
pens.
information out of the gilded idiot and get out of here.
Good. Yes. All right. Let's go.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
off through the passage.
You are inside the walls now. There is very little around you except another little staircase on here, from which, Edvard, you can deduct using a little architectural reasoning that this is the only room on this level. That basement doesn't go off onto any other rooms. And as you head up these stairs in this kind of like narrow between the walls space that you're in, all being very careful presumably not to kind of creak the steps too much,
Oh yeah.
corridor starts to sort of branch out into many other paths, and you start to get the impression that there are secret routes all around this house, and that you could probably get into any room you wanted from here.
Are there any peepholes that are eyes in paintings?
You know it.
Yeah.
Yes, there are. Yes,
All right.
there are.
Well, I look through the nearest one. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, you go up to one of the walls, and you sort of peep through.
What does it look like from the other side? Not that I can see it, but what is the painting?
The painting is of a dog, a hunting dog, with one of those ones with like really big like jowls, and it looks
Nice.
extremely duh.
Yeah. Like a pet portrait, like a commissioned pet portrait.
A commissioned pet portrait.
String of
All right.
sausages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do I
Yeah,
see? What do I see?
You see a very large oval-shaped room. It looks like a study hall because there are rows of desks there. There's a big spiral staircase in here, which makes you think that this used to be the ballroom, although there's certainly not any dancing going on now. Instead, you can see sat at the benches are sort of groups of members of the DIMMER sister cult. They are all dressed kind of in like grey, cloaks with the hoods up, like Rosie and Josie were, and they are clustered around at benches. They're mostly at study, kind of looking at books and stuff, and they're all in twos.
Interesting. Okay. I make a mental note of the grey cloaks with the hoods. They would be
Cool.
useful.
Yep.
We need to determine where Barnaby is. I feel like if he were conscious, he would be loudly complaining. So let me...
Can we hear any
You
loud
don't-
complaining?
You don't hear any loud complaining.
No. It's a bad sign.
All right. Anyone? Any ideas about where we could go from here?
If you needed to keep a loud idiot somewhere, where would you put him?
I'd have had him back there in the mincing
Torture dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it possible he's been minced already?
Well,
And this is a fool's errand. No, wait, no. They ransomed him.
They
That's
were
not
going to
how you
post
ransom
his
someone.
parts to us, weren't they?
Yeah, you can't do that if it's mince.
You
We
shouldn't.
wouldn't know.
You shouldn't post
No.
parts. It's not. It's not fresh.
it's not fair on the postman.
Yeah. It's just not hygienic.
I'd like to have a look around, like within the tunnels, and see if there's any kind of like markings on the wall as like not outward like this is a like easy signs, but see if there's any kind of like coding going on around here, and see if there's anything that can be deciphered.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah. Roll me for that.
Okay, I'm studying, so 2 dice. Come on. 6.
6. Very nice. You do actually find a kind of metal sort of sign that kind of like has some sort of arrows, like pointing on it in words. It's very, very old. It's clearly from when the house was original. It's not been installed by the Dimmer sisters, you think. There's a sign pointing to a door that's right next to the eye holes that Zilla looked through, which says ballroom, and there's a sign that points like upwards to a staircase that says study, and then there's another arrow that has a much longer list of things. It says music room, dining hall, kitchens, and there's another arrow, and on that same sort of branch of arrows, arboretum.
That sounds interesting.
It's just trees, though. I mean, would you keep someone in a tree room?
Well,
I don't
depends.
know,
if
but I
it's-
think it would look cool.
Well, if you just want to go and
I'm
look
just
at cool
thinking
rooms.
that's cool. Well,
Yeah.
look.
not?
Okay.
Well, why don't we split up? That's always a good idea.
In the
do
haunted
it.
house.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys, I've got a great idea. Let's split up. Take an
Okay.
area each.
Well, I would like to Bagsy the study. There could be some interesting books in there.
Okay.
All right. I'll take the portrait of the Great Dane and check out the kitchen.
Cool.
I'm going to go for the Arboretum just in case.
I want to go upstairs to like the living quarters or, barracks, whatever they call
Yeah.
them.
Which,
Cool.
what do we do if we find Barnaby? How will we communicate that fact to the others?
Let's meet back here in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so we go find the portraits, have a look in, and then walk back.
Okay.
I have a feeling I might be lucky because I'm guessing that they would want the loudest person that they've ever had in this house to be as far away from the main compound as possible. So I'm
good
kind of
thinking.
thinking that I might be good on this.
It's good thinking. Okay, let's do it. Hands in the middle.
Yeah.
And dead Barnaby.
Okay. Who would like to go first?
I can go first.
We'll take these 10 minutes in sequence. Edvard, okay. So you're heading upstairs, right, towards the sign that is marked study. You creep up the staircase, and you come to another long corridor ahead of you in this kind of wooden within the walls thing. Little bits of light are kind of getting through, like some of the slats. It depends which rooms are kind of currently occupied. You occasionally hear voices murmuring as you pass the various rooms. People walking to and fro. You get the impression that the Dimmer sisters are quite sort of monkish, is maybe the word. They're mostly sort of devoted to the quiet contemplation of all things horrifying. You head towards where the arrow was pointing you to the study. There are some rows of portraits on the inside of the wall here that you can peep through if you wish.
Okay, I would like to peep through and check out what's going on and if I can see any Barnabys.
Yeah, you press your eyes to it. Make me a roll for how much you can see, I think.
Okay. That's a 6.
Very nice. It's clear to you, Edvard, that this is a laboratory that you are looking at. There are a few sisters kind of like working in pairs, kind of at desks here. There's a sort of large, ornate desk that looks like it's a bit older than everything else. That's clearly like before this became the Dimmer sisters' hideout. That's where like the studying happened, but this large study has been turned into a laboratory. You can see rows and rows and rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of jars, most of which are kind of glowing faintly. Spirits are kept in these.
Am I able to determine anything useful about what they're doing here from what I can see them doing?
Yeah. Yes, you are. This is a room where ghosts are spliced, stored, studied. In fact, you see two Dimmer sisters kind of like with a bottle, and both bottles are attached to some glass apparatus that kind of feeds into a sort of central glass orb. It looks like they're kind of splicing two souls together. That's the impression that you get.
Interesting.
Just weird, messed up spectral meddling is going on here. Actually, you hear one of them say to one of the other sisters, Chloe, Zoe, could you bring me that wrench? And two of the other sisters who are over on the other side of the room say, like, get it yourself, Tessa. I'm waiting. Don't you know we're taking receipt today of a very important item? Chloe and Zoe sort of tut and go back to their work, having received no help.
Interesting.
As you continue to watch through the portrait, Edvard, you see two more sisters enter the room, and the one who was called over before, addresses them and says, Kylie, Miley, you have the item. They both sort of nod, very solemnly. I think this was Tessa. Yeah, Tessa. Goes up to a wall, does something with her hands and sort of mutters a few words, and part of the wall appears to kind of like disappear to reveal an enormous sort of metal vault. She enters some more codes. You can't see what they are, and she sort of spins a big wheel around a few times, and she opens it up. You can see inside, Edvard, that it leads to another similarly huge door, and as the three of them walk through this first door, you can see that Kylie and Miley are kind of carrying a box with them, and they're taking it very carefully, and you hear very faintly the voices as the kind of first vault door is shut behind them. They say, to think that we would have one of the braces of Thogroth in our humble mansion.
My goodness.
What we will learn, and that's all.
Okay.
And then it sort of gets cut off.
All right. Okay. So there's no one in the room left.
Chloe and Zoe are still
Chloe
there.
and Zoe.
working
All
on
right. In that case, I've learned what I think I'm going to learn from the study. I'm going to head back to the meeting point.
it. Cool. Who's next?
Okay.
Cool.
I've gone upwards as much as possible on the upwards wooden staircase in the little alley, little
Yes.
corridor.
You want to check out the
barracks quarters,
the barracks?
sleeping quarters. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, perhaps out of a respect for privacy, as you can hear that you are kind of in the barracks, the sleeping quarters here, because as you walk along, kind of like inside the walls, it seems like day and night isn't really observed here. You can hear some like soft snoring from some rooms. Some people are like chatting in others, but there aren't any portraits here to look through because I guess the Dimmer sisters thought that would be weird. And they don't like things to be weird, I guess.
Sounds about right. Well,
yeah, that's where you're at.
There's presumably some sort of doorway though, because you wouldn't have like these access corridors and not any access.
Yes. Yeah, there's a doorway. You just can't see the room that it leads
All right,
into.
can I find the quietest area, the door adjacent to that lets into the quietest part? What I suspect is the quietest part, and just kind of give it a little gentle push. Just crack it an inch, and put my eye up to the gap.
You can see in there 2 beds, and they are both occupied. And you can hear, now that the door's open, you can hear a sort of soft, snoring sound. 2 sleepy sisters in here.
Okay, I'd like to try creeping in on hands and knees.
Yep.
And I look around for like a steamer trunk, like a storage chest under the beds.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's how they arrange their belongings.
Yep.
Rather than a wardrobe or whatever they've got. Anyway, I crawl in and see if I can grab hold of a couple of the grey woolen cloak things that they were.
Cool. Yeah, just make me a roll for the presumably quiet finding. It is steamer trunks, finding
Yes.
and retrieval of.
It's mostly like physical dexterity, like creepy crawly kind of thing, which is prowl.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm splitting hairs because I've got no points in anything related to
You
to
can push
being
yourself.
stealthy.
You can push yourself. Take 2 stress to add an extra dice.
I've already got 4 stress.
Nothing.
But-
Stress.
That's quite a lot of stress.
Nah.
Nah, all right, let's push myself. All right, I really don't want to get caught on the hop by 2 sleeping Dimmer sisters.
Yeah.
So, if I push myself, I get 2. I have no dots in prowl.
If you have no dots, if you push yourself, you get 1.
God. This is hard. All right, fine. All right, I'm rolling 1. It's a 2.
Okay. You.
And I take 2 stress, right? No, I take 2 stress if I fail.
You do take 2 stress. You take
Just
2 stress because you pushed yourself
off
already.
the bat. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Plus 2 stress.
Yeah, you pull the steamer trunk out from under the bed and you lift it up, and you can see that there is, like, folded up very neatly. There are 6. I suppose they have 1 for every day of the week. 6 of these, you know, the Dimmer sister cloaks. And as you look up from the trunk, sat up in bed, one of them is looking at you, and she makes a dive for the other bed.
Oh, okay. I grab her around the throat and choke her out.
Okay. Cool. I think you're gonna have to roll me for that as well.
All right. Well, finally something I've got some points in.
Yes.
Skirmish. I reckon.
Yep.
All right. So I leap towards her as she leaps basically over my shoulder.
Yep.
And like wrap a bicep under her chin, and just start like gentle but very very firm pressure.
Yep.
Just trying to quietly choke her out.
Cool.
Oh, cool. A 6 and a 2. So 6.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. She kind of like tries to speak. Like you can hear her sort of like very faintly going, Mia, Mia, Mia. But you do successfully choke her out, and she's not able to see anything. In the other bed, the kind of like form like under the covers, kind of like like, shut up, Leah.
Okay, this is fine.
And
I tuck her back into bed.
goes back to sleep. Cool.
I gently put her like back in,
Yeah.
put the cover back up,
Yeah.
and make her look like, smooth the hair, and she looks like she's sleeping again.
She does look like she's sleeping. You don't wake up Leah in the other. No, Mia. You don't wake up Mia in the other bed, but I'm going to tick a clock because
No.
I guess she's definitely closer to waking up and find. If she does wake up, she'll find
Sleeping less deeply now, probably.
sleeping less deep. And I suppose if she does wake up, which you don't know when that'll be, she will
Yeah.
certainly find something very suspicious.
Okay, so I take those 2. What the hell? I take 4 cloaks.
Cool.
Since I can, and since there are 6 in there, I take 4 of those grey cloaks, and then scarper back to the meeting point, to the rendezvous point, and I close the door.
Nice. So Zilla, you have successfully grabbed those costumes, albeit having left one Dimmer sister choked out and unconscious in their bed. And now we will move to who wants to go next.
Go on.
Let's find out what's up with Lilith.